In this video, I'm going to give you 12 reasons to visit Joshua Tree National Park. Hey, I'm John Chesky, Joshua Tree real estate professional. If you want to know more about buying or selling in Joshua Tree, go ahead and text me. My number's on the screen right here, and all of my other contact information is going to be located below.
Watch the video through to the end for pro tips that could save you a lot of trouble.
All right, let's do this. Joshua Tree has such diverse natural features. Elevation ranges from 5,000 feet up all the way down to 900 feet above sea level. So you've got so much different terrain. Sharp rocky mountains, dry lakes, sand dunes, oases, and even places to get buffalo wings and cheeseburgers in 29 Palms. Ground squirrel, shout out, one of my favorite burgers on the planet. Oh, I love this reason. Joshua Tree National Park is hikers' heaven. There's hiking for everyone here. Everything from easy flat ground nature walk loops to multi-day backpacking trips. Depending on your skill level, there are hikes that will definitely make your bucket list. Be sure to bring tons of food, water, extra protective clothing. The desert is very unforgivable. Unforgivable. It's also a camper's heaven. Tons of different style terrain campsites. It's fantastic. Although I do highly recommend that you make sure to reserve your spot because Joshua Tree is world famous and they book up fast. I'll put the link down in the description for recreation.gov. Have you ever camped in Joshua Tree? Let me know. Most of the Joshua Tree campgrounds have at least the basics of picnic tables, fire gates, pit toilets. But a side note, a lot of them don't have water, so you really want to check to make sure. But always bring in your water, no matter what you want to bring water into the desert, like just for backup. And if you have extra when you get home, cool, you got some extra water. Feed your plants, put it in your water bottle, whatever. But just bring a bunch of water. That's my advice to you if you're going to the desert. The Joshua trees. They're not even actually trees, they're actually succulents. I've heard people call them ugly, and that pisses me off. They're weird and beautiful. Since when is weird and beautiful ugly? Maybe you're watching this and you're weird and beautiful. Repeat after me. I'm weird and I'm beautiful, just like Joshua trees. Did you do it? World-class stargazing. There's very little light pollution in Joshua Tree, so that makes the night sky perfect for stargazing. The east side of the park is known to be the best place, but really anywhere in Joshua Tree on a clear night, especially if it's not a full moon, it's unbelievable. Bonus tip, when it is a full moon, your eyes adjust and you can literally walk around in the middle of the night with the entire desert lit up by the moon. Unreal. Our wildlife. Virtually any time of day, 24 hours a day, if you are in Joshua Tree, you will see some form of wildlife. When I was younger and I used to camp in Joshua Tree, I used to love waking up early just to see the jackrabbits and the coyotes hopping around as the sun's coming up. And in the springtime when the flowers are blooming, it's even more magical. I've literally been on a trail, turned around the bend, and seen a huge desert tortoise eating its first springtime meal. Joshua Tree is a photography lover's dream. The photo ops are endless here. Wildlife, plants, sunsets, whatever kind of photography you do, either bring a ton of film or a huge backup drive because you're just going to want to take so many pictures. Joshua Tree National Park is easy to get to. A lot of national parks are a pain in the tush to get to, but Joshua Tree is not one of those ones. You're about 40 minutes from Palm Springs in that area, a couple of hours from Los Angeles and Orange County. If you're flying in, Palm Springs Airport's down the road, you got Ontario Airport, and if you're really feeling gangster, you can go to San Bernardino Airport too. Open year round. Unlike Wally World, it's always open. Pretty much, as long as there's no crazy storms. The high season when it's really busy and the weather is perfect is usually from around October, November to about April, May. That's when you're gonna have the easiest time doing outdoor activities where it's not too hot. It's still dry, you gotta stay hydrated, but it's not too hot. It can even be really cold. I've been on hikes in the middle of the day in December when it is 40 degrees outside, crystal clear skies. And I'm wearing a big heavy coat. And if you want to avoid the national park crowds and you can handle the dry desert heat, there's very little traffic and it's a lot more chill from like June to September. This is a great reason to visit Joshua Tree National Park. You can really escape it all. Joshua Tree offers so much solitude. One of my favorite things to do is find a giant rock, climb up on top of it, and just sit there and take in the desert scenery. Maybe even sometimes I love to just close my eyes and just sit there. Oh my God, just thinking about it right now. I'm like, what am I doing in here making a video when I could be sitting on a giant rock? But yeah, the solitude out here, the quietness is amazing. One time I was at a client's home inspection and I was talking to the home inspector. It's one of those crystal clear days with no wind. And we both stopped because we could hear something, and we look up and hundreds of feet into the air, there was a giant bird and we could just hear its wings flapping. And we both just stopped. I got goosebumps. And then we looked at each other and fist bumped because we were like, whoa, we just shared a absolutely beautiful experience. That's Joshua Tree. I should say that. Joshua Tree, witness moments of beauty. Plenty to see from your car. So let's say you can't hike or you don't want to hike. You can stay in your car and have just an epic drive through the park. It can be a real treat to simply sit in your car, put on your favorite audiobook about Joshua Tree, or maybe even listen to some Queens of the Stone Age and just for a couple hours drive through the park on your own personal tour. Yeah. You don't have to rough it. You don't have to be a backpacker or a hippie wanderer going through the desert. You can be someone that wants to stay in a motel or Airbnbs. There's Airbnbs of every budget. So you can stay in a really chill bungalow or a luxury Airbnb on top of the rocks. But you definitely don't have to rough it. So if you're trying to get your partner to go to Joshua Tree and your husband or your wife's going, well, I don't want to rough it. I want to relax on my vacation. It's like, oh, you can have that in Joshua Tree.
Thanks for sticking around. Here's your pro tip.
All right, here are 2 bonus pro tips. First is to always call restaurants, shops, and anything you want to do out here in Joshua Tree. Remember earlier when I said Joshua Tree National Park is open year-round? Well, there is an off-season, and when there's an off-season around here, places tend to close early, take weeks off, and sometimes even close completely. So before you get in your car or hop on your bike, give them a little jingle. Make sure they're open for business. Okay, here is your second bonus pro tip. If you love good food, you have to go to Ground Squirrel in 29 Palms. This is Joel. He's the head chef at Ground Squirrel. He's a literal Swedish chef. Not only does he make my favorite cheeseburger, he makes the best buffalo wings this side of the Mississippi. And Ground Squirrel has a world-class beer selection, so there's a lot more than just really hoppy stuff or pilsners and whatnot. There's stouts, sours, ciders. I mean, even if you're not a super beer person, you're still gonna find something that you really like. And if you do end up going to Ground Squirrel, ask him if you can go to the back, shake Joel's hand, and tell him Chefsky sent you. He loves me. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know more about buying or selling in Joshua Tree, feel free to reach out. My number's right here on the screen. And if you want to know more about properties in Joshua Tree, check out this property tour. Is it over here or is it over there? Click on that link.